nobody has to get left out. You don't have to be in Silicon Valley. You don't have to be in Atlanta. And places like Rome can be real centers of innovation, which is exciting to me, and it speaks well, I think, of what our state can and should be doing. I think the most important thing that we have seen in this state is that we've undergone one of the worst records on education in the history of Georgia, and that those failures for our education system are real. They hit home for voters all across the state. So I would say education is number one. Number two is we have to have an economy that works for everybody. And right now it seems that the folks that have a direct line to the governor's office or that have lobbyists in Atlanta get all of the economic benefits, and small businesses and regular middle class people get left out.
How do you change that?
Well, I think number one, you have to invest in people. You have to ensure that you've got I believe education is economic development. And as we grow our education system and from an outcome standpoint and ensure that we're getting effective education with appropriate amounts of investment, that's going to drive prosperous people. And prosperous people drive our economy for small businesses and many, many others. I think the other important thing about economics is right now our tax code and other economic development opportunities are driven by lobbyists. And you've got to be able to have the small businesses get the same benefits from their government that big companies. I think that red and blue is almost a thing of the past. I think you have seen so many people, Republicans and Democrats, who are ready for a change. And you saw, Northwest Georgia, you saw 28% of the Republicans in our state a couple weeks ago come out to vote against the governor in his own primary. Many of those were up here in Northwest Georgia, and folks everywhere in the state. They want an education system that works. They want an economy that works for rural Georgia, especially Northwest Georgia, and they want an honest government. And those issues resonate no matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. I think that throughout my time in the state Senate, we have pushed for real ethics reform, and we have tried to ensure that we have, for example, an ethics commission that is truly independent of the political people that it is supposed to govern and it is supposed to police. We have seen, we're now paying $3 million as taxpayers for the cover-up associated with an investigation that still hasn't been completed. So the taxpayers have had to pay $3 million, and they still don't get to the bottom of what it is that was so important that it got covered up. Washington is so broken that I just don't feel like that's a place you can go to solve problems. And where we have right now in our system of government as a country, and especially true here, governor's offices are places where you can make real change. They're places where you can drive the issues that we all agree on, especially a state like Georgia. I have worked across the aisle for my time in the state Senate, and we've had the ability. Some of my closest friends are the Republican leadership in the state Senate, and I know that there's a number of things we all agree on. We all want to see an education system that works, but if you don't have a governor that's looking for answers, if you don't have a governor that's willing to push forward on an honest budget and transparency and those things, you're not going to get it. But if you do have a good governor, they can make a huge difference. They can make a huge difference on things that matter in people's lives. And I just think that Washington it doesn't offer those opportunities. And we have that ability in Georgia right now.